Young and the Restless Spoilers reveal the worst that Claire could face because of her betrayal of Jordan. Claire discovers that Claire is using her to carry out a sinister plot. Newman enters, his eyes searching every corner of the room. His goal is clear: to find out the identity of the mysterious woman who met Ian Ward earlier. Based on the description from an employee, he quickly learns that she has long blonde hair and wears glasses. However, when Nick sees the woman leave the motel and get into a black pickup truck, he fails to recognize her face. The ambiguity makes him feel uneasy. Without delay, he returns to the room to report to Chance Chancellor, who is helping him investigate this case. Important trace: fingerprints on a glass in the room. Chance carefully handles everything with the professionalism of a seasoned police officer. He informs Nick that he has found fingerprints on a glass and sends them for analysis. Within a few short hours, the results were back. Chance read the name on the analysis and exclaimed in a shocked voice, "Holy shit, it's Jordan." Nick was stunned. Jordan wasn't just some nobody, she was someone who had worked with Ian Ward, a dangerous criminal who had caused so much pain to the Newman family. Nick's eyes flashed with anger and disappointment. He had never expected a young woman like Jordan to be involved in such a sinister plot. Jordan fled and the plot continued. Meanwhile, Jordan, sensing danger, quickly called Claire for help. Her voice was filled with worry as she informed him that Nick and Chance had tracked her down at the motel. "I need a safe place right away," Jordan said over the phone. Claire, who had always been loyal to Jordan, reluctantly agreed to help. "You can come to the farm," Claire said, her voice small but firm. After hanging up, Newman suddenly appeared, her face bewildered as she overheard the conversation. Claire tried to reassure Nikki, but she was more determined. "If we don't do anything, Jordan will continue to cause harm." "How many more lives will she destroy?" Nikki said, her eyes filled with worry and determination. Claire shook her head, disagreeing with the use of violence. "I don't like the idea of killing people," she argued. Nikki was silent for a moment, then replied, "Maybe we don't need to do that, but I have another plan." Victor Newman appeared from the stairs, watching the conversation between Nikki and Claire thoughtfully, but did not say anything. Encounter at the guardhouse. Nikki and Victoria decided to take action. They went to an old barn to prepare for their next move. Meanwhile, Claire arranged to meet Jordan at the guardhouse on the farm. The atmosphere was tense as the two faced each other. Jordan looked nervous, looking around as if to make sure no one was watching. "You left fingerprints and DNA in the hotel room," Claire shouted, her voice filled with anger. "I thought you were smarter than that." Jordan, though surprised by Claire's harshness, tried to keep his composure. "I didn't expect them to find out so quickly. But I need you to help me get out of this." Claire shook her head, frustration evident on her face. "You're dragging me into this, Jordan. If we keep this up, we'll have no way out." Nikki and Victoria begin their plan. Meanwhile, Nikki and Victoria, with Victor's indirect help, devised a plan to stop Jordan before she could do any more damage. Nikki insisted that their actions be swift and covert so as not to affect the Newman family. "Jordan is the biggest danger right now. If we don't stop this, we could lose everything," Nikki says, her voice cold but determined. Victoria, though hesitant, agrees to support her mother. "I'll do whatever it takes," she insists. Open-ended dramatic ending. The story ends on a cliffhanger as Claire is faced with a choice: continue to protect Jordan or turn her into the police. Meanwhile, Nick and Chance are on the trail, and Nikki and Victoria prepare to put their plan into action. Victor Newman, ever the wise family man, watches silently, contemplating his next move. His eyes show that he knows what's coming, but will he intervene? The story leaves behind some big twists, opening up many intriguing directions for the complex characters and relationships on The Young and the Restless. Claire Newman, in an ambitious and dangerous move, cleverly drags Victoria Newman and Nikki Newman into a risky plot. Claire's motivation is to eliminate Jordan, a dangerous and unpredictable character. However, her approach, while clever, puts the whole family in a difficult position. The story begins when Claire decides that Jordan is not only a threat but also an opportunity for her to achieve her personal goals. Double plan, tricking Jordan and hidden betrayal. Jordan, trusting Claire as an ally, is lured into a seemingly perfect plan. Claire convinces Jordan that they need to eliminate Victoria so they can seize a huge inheritance and start a new life somewhere far away. Claire's sweet promises make Jordan willing to bet everything. But what Jordan doesn't know is that it's all a ruse set up by Claire. Claire's real goal is to use Jordan as a pawn and eliminate her when the time is right. Nikki and Victoria, despite knowing Claire's plan, are uneasy. They worry not only about Jordan's life, but also about the guilt Claire might feel if things go too far. As the plan progresses, Jordan begins to notice signs of trouble. Claire seems to be in control, and at times, she senses deception in the eyes of her so-called ally. But greed has clouded Jordan's judgment. One fateful evening, Claire finally makes her move. She takes Jordan to a secluded place with the promise that they will discuss a plan to eliminate Victoria. However, what awaits Jordan is not consensus, but the painful truth: she has been tricked. In a fit of rage, Jordan lunges at Claire. But Claire is prepared, and the tables are turned quickly. Nikki and Victoria, watching from afar, intervene before things get out of hand. Jordan's cruel fate: although Nikki and Victoria try to stop everything, it is too late. During the tense confrontation, Jordan slips and falls off a nearby cliff. Her screams echo in the dark night, carrying anger and helplessness. Claire, standing on the top of the cliff, trembles. She looks down at the place where Jordan has disappeared, feeling both triumphant and empty. Nikki and Victoria come to Claire, their faces showing panic. Even after Jordan is gone, her ghost still haunts Claire. No one in the Newman family could have predicted that Claire would be so deeply haunted by what happened. She begins to have trouble sleeping, Jordan's image appearing in her dreams. Sometimes, Claire feels like someone is watching her, even in the moments when she is alone. What no one expected was that Jordan, even in her final moments, had left behind a dangerous legacy. Before confronting Claire, she had prepared a backup plan. A video recording of Claire's confessions about plotting to eliminate Victoria was sent to a secret friend of hers. This person, with a deep hatred for the Newman family, decided to use the video as a weapon to retaliate. When the video was released, the Newman family was once again thrown into the public eye. But this time, it was not just guilt or obsession, but their entire future that was at stake. The story ends with Claire standing in front of the mirror, her face weary and her eyes empty. There was a knock on the door, and she knew that things were not over. Can the Newman family overcome this challenge, or will the buried secrets destroy everything? When Claire Newman plots to eliminate Jordan, she unexpectedly underestimates her opponent. Jordan, a schemer and not one to give up easily, realizes the danger is approaching and decides to strike first. Instead of running away, she plans to retaliate, turning Claire's plans into a real nightmare. Jordan, with her shrewdness and vengeful spirit, decides to use the plan that Claire had convinced her about before: eliminate Victoria Newman. But this time, it's not just a trick. Jordan makes the plan come true. In the shadow of the plot, Jordan carefully plots to ensure that all attention will be on Claire if the plan fails. By catching Claire off guard, she prepares everything to push Victoria into an unsalvageable situation, while putting terrible mental pressure on Claire. The Young and the Restless once again leaves the audience breathless with dramatic developments, leaving big questions unanswered. As the situation escalates, Cole, who is close to both Victoria and Claire, realizes that something is amiss. He had suspected Claire's plans before, but his devotion to the two women makes him decide to intervene. Cole seeks out Claire to warn her that Victor Newman, the head of the family, will do anything to protect his children. But at the same time, he also affirms that he himself will not stand by if Victoria or Claire are in danger. "Claire, if anything happens to Victoria or you, I will never forgive myself," Cole says with a determined look in his eyes. However, Claire, caught up in her own plot, does not share the whole truth with Cole. She fears that if he knows everything, he will try to stop her, which could cause things to spiral out of control. Jordan not only continues with her plan, but also deliberately leaves clues to lure Claire and Victoria to the location she has set. Taking advantage of Cole's love and devotion, she calculated that he would come to the rescue of these two women, making him the next prey in her dangerous game. As expected, Cole did not hesitate when he received the news that Victoria and Claire were in danger. He arrived at the scene, only to realize that he had fallen into Jordan's trap. Jordan, with a look of resentment in her eyes, held a dangerous weapon in her hand and faced Cole. "You seem to be someone who always wants to save others, right? But this time, no one can save you," she said, her cold voice freezing the air. In a tense moment, Cole tried to calm the situation, talking to Jordan to make her put down her weapon. However, her anger and hatred got out of control. A scuffle broke out, and in a fateful moment, Cole was seriously injured while trying to protect Victoria and Claire. Jordan, realizing the dire consequences of his actions, fled the scene, leaving everyone in shock. Victoria knelt beside Cole, tears streaming down her face, begging him to try. Claire, standing still, was overwhelmed with guilt as she watched the scene unfold. Cole's death, if it happened, would leave scars on Claire's heart that would never heal. Not only would she lose a protector, but she would also have to face the fact that it was her own plan that led to this tragedy. Claire began to blame herself, unable to forgive herself for putting Cole in danger that he was not prepared for. Every day that followed, the image of Cole and his final moments would be present in her mind, like an indelible ghost. Victoria and Nikki, though feeling sorry for Cole, couldn't help but look at Claire with reproachful eyes. They knew that things could have been different if Claire had chosen to confront Jordan directly instead of creating a complicated plot. Jordan, victory and failure. Although Jordan's plan fails, she still achieves her goal, to sow pain and chaos in the Newman family. Even as she flees and lives in the shadows, she feels satisfied that she has made Claire pay. She thinks she won? "I took the most important thing from her," Jordan thinks, smiling bitterly as she leaves town. A haunting open end. The film ends with Claire standing alone in a dark room, her eyes sad as she looks out the window. She knows that she will never forget what happened, and the guilt will be a burden she will carry with her for the rest of her life. Can Claire find forgiveness, or will the wounds in her heart never heal? Will Jordan, though gone, truly end the threat, or will he secretly find a way to return? And how will the Newman family cope with this loss? The story still leaves unanswered questions, promising new dramatic plot twists on The Young and the Restless.